Well, Kenny, just as he did at the weigh-in, Khabib Nurmagomedov really attached to that wig. In all seriousness, no, Dagestan, Russia, Kenny, for those that don't know, really is a wrestling mecca, and he's just the latest in a long line of talented wrestlers out there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a wig or a hat. I don't know. But, yeah, absolutely. You know, Nurmagomedov comes from what is traditionally a hotbed for wrestling in Russia, and as many people know, just the country of Russia is known as, you know, really, they always turn out the best wrestlers year after year. They have, you know, they're probably 10 deep of wrestlers that can compete at the highest levels, and he comes from the hotbed of Russia for wrestling. So, you know, put that together. This is a kid who comes from not only a good wrestling background, but he loves to strike, loves to get scrappy and throw down.
And Nurmagomedov drew the eye of our UFC matchmaker, Joe Silva. He's finished his last 8 wins, 6 wins by knockout and 6 wins by submission in his mixed martial arts career. Again, you've been hearing the theme all night here in Nashville. We got a whole lot of finishers on this card, and Nurmagomedov looking to make a statement in what is his UFC debut. Enters the octagon here tonight, a perfect 16-0.
And look at his wins. I mean, 6 wins by KO, 6 wins by submission. Doesn't like to mess around in there. Wants to collect his paycheck early.
2-time world Sambo champion, 16-0 is the mixed martial arts record, and he's just 23 years old. All right, let's get to the tail of the tape for this one. As always, it is brought to you Bud Light, Nurmagomedov, and Shalarus. You see the number that jumps off the page. Shalarus, a late bloomer, turned pro in 2008, 39 years old, at a 2-inch height and reach disadvantage against Nurmagomedov. How about some Bruce Buffer?
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding an undefeated professional record of 16 wins with no losses. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Fairfield, New Jersey, Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a freestyle fighter, holding a professional record, 7 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 155 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Santa Monica, California, Kamal, Prince of Persia, Shalarus. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki shares the cage with Khabib Nurmagomedov and Kamal Shalarus. And just want to point out off the top here, Nurmagomedov, first time in the United States, making his US and UFC debut, and has never fought in a cage before. So certainly expect some sort of adjustment period as Nurmagomedov gets his first taste of the octagon.
Yeah, all of his fights have been in Russia. He's used to the ring, and it is very different. As we know, just the strategy of not being able to sprawl fully against the cage, the cornering, the angles, completely different.
Shalarus with a big left hand, and Nurmagomedov pursues the takedown off of it, now has control of the neck.
Shalarus looking to use his wrestling, typically look to throw those haymakers, those bombs, and will stay trading with his opponents, but definitely looking to put Nurmagomedov on his back right away. Very nice counter from Khabib. Nurmagomedov is another one of these Russian fighters who comes from an excellent Sambo background. When he gets on top of you, he will land some nasty ground and pound. And interesting that Shalarus is actually switching his stances repeatedly, going from southpaw now to righty. And you have to watch out for that big right hand from Shalarus.
Yeah, you saw an earlier right hand was slipped by Nurmagomedov. We'll see how he handles the stance changes out of Shalarus, who's back in the orthodox at present.
You know, Nurmagomedov has to keep this fight in the center of the cage. He's backing up, allowing Shalarus to get cage control and get him up against the cage. And this is where that inexperience in the cage can be a factor. He has to keep it in the middle of the cage where he can't be pinned. He can use his striking, use his movement, use his footwork.
Able to check the high kick there from Chalarus.
Good pressure from Chalarus.
Well, and if you want to draw the eye of the UFC brass, as Nurmagomedov certainly did, how about 7-0 in 2011 with 6 first-round finishes? That'll get you a shot in the big show, and here he is as we approach the halfway point here in round number 1 between Chalarus and Nurmagomedov, and he comes in with a big left hand that finds its home.
Yeah, you know, he's a very clean and technical striker, but he will throw in some unorthodox techniques that definitely throw a fighter off. And he's looking early with the jab and with that left hook, but he'll come in with some awkward attacks to throw Chalarus off, and that was a big kick that definitely hurt Nurmagomedov on the inside of that left leg. Powerful guy is Chalarus.
Big strike from Nurmagomedov. Chalarus in a world of trouble right now. We'll see if the Russian can finish.
Caught him on the way in, and look at this brutal ground and pound. Not allowing him to get up, and from here, this is where Nurmagomedov will make you pay.
And Chalarus in survival mode here. We'll see how much the Russian has left as he tries to pursue the finish. A couple more accurate strikes could do it.
This is not where Chalarus wants to be. He needs to get back to his feet, recompose himself. He has an underhook where he can possibly get a single leg and escape from here. Nurmagomedov needs to get that underhook and try to keep him on his back. Switches to the back position. Nice transition from Khabib. He's relentless, John. Relentless with his position. He's always looking to advance and puts his pressure with his ground and pound. There he is. Moves into side mount and looking for some more ground and pound.
And you're right, does so with relative ease. Very fluid is the Russian on the ground.
This is where he's most dangerous. Chalarus did a great job of getting back to his feet.
And there is no questioning the toughness and the heart of Kamal Chalarus. Clipped with another left hand on the way up, but he's sticking his chin right in there, and as you might expect, the Nashvillians loving every minute of it.
Nurmagomedov definitely looked pretty gassed when he got back to his feet. Definitely didn't have that same snap in his punches when he got back to his feet there.
Nice knee to the midsection there, so perhaps the window closed for Nurmagomedov to get that first round finish. Chalarus exerting a tremendous amount of toughness and eats another right hand, does Kamal Chalarus. And as we get ready for round number 2 here, 1 minute, Kenny, not a lot of time to recover when you've been knocked down the way Chalarus was there in the first.
And for Nurmagomedov, who may have punched himself out there. He looks okay now, but he was definitely gassed at the end of that first round.
And once again comes flailing in with that left hand, absorbs an inside leg kick, nicely done by Chalarus. And you see Chalarus sort of biding his time and waiting for that big right hand.
Very impressed with the counter wrestling of Nurmagomedov, and here he is trying to finish a single of his own and gets it on Chalarus. Very nice wrestling, and again, coming from Dagestan, Russia, you got to think he's got some very high-level wrestling, John.
And at least in the early going, no nerves whatsoever for Nurmagomedov. You'd think a guy who came to the United States shortly after Christmas. They actually opened the Russian embassy on Christmas Day to get him here. He wanted this UFC opportunity in a very bad way and has wanted it for quite some time, despite being just 23 years old and maximizing the opportunity, at least to this point.
Yeah, definitely. He said he wanted to do whatever it took to get into the UFC. This has been his dream, like every fighter, and this kid's coming all the way from Russia to achieve that goal. Trying to move into side mount. Nurmagomedov needs to get an underhook. There he is trying to secure it. Working some very nice ground and pound. And here he is with that double threat. Not only is he trying to advance his position, but he's also working his ground and pound position, keeping Chalarus honest there. And that is the best and most efficient way, most devastating way to advance your position. It's not just his jiu-jitsu and his positioning and his technique and the grappling, but also it's his ground and pound that's opening that up.
Nurmagomedov trying to move across that right leg, and Mario Yamasaki looking for more action. He stands up the fighters here as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the second round of this lightweight battle between Shalarus and Nurmagomedov. Very close fight, at least as far as the odds makers forecasted. Virtually even money on paper, and at least in the early going, Nurmagomedov having his way.
Yeah, you know, Nurmagomedov has very impressive record, 16-0. It's hard to know what kind of competition that is.
Sure.
You know, and comes in kind of as an unknown, but proving himself against a true veteran in Shalarus. I mean, when's the last time we've seen Shalarus out-wrestle, John?
That's the truth. Not really at all in his MMA career. Of course, Jim Miller got plenty done against him back in March of 2011, but there's a reason Shalarus entered the UFC undefeated and getting all he can handle right now from the Russian newcomer.
You know, the coaches were very big on Nurmagomedov, saying that this kid came right from Russia, went right into some very hard training, and just were very impressed with his work ethic, his technique, and they expect big, big things from him.
Yeah, expectations and the hype both very high for Nurmagomedov, and again, been in the U.S. such a short time. You know, hard not to be impressed with what you've seen, and hard not to think about how much better he can get.
No doubt about it. Here he is, just constantly moving, constantly working his hips, ground and pound. And then these are the kind of fighters everybody loves to see, love to watch. Dangerous on the ground. Here he is trying to lock up a little turnover, but thought he was going to switch into a Darce choke or a guillotine, but fails on it.
And Nurmagomedov, you got to think too, gaining momentum and confidence in the matchup as this fight continues to go his way.
What's very impressive, if you look at the size difference, I know Shalarus came in lighter than we're used to, but he's obviously much, much bigger, especially in the upper body. He's much, much bigger than Nurmagomedov, but Nurmagomedov's kind of throwing him around a little bit.
Yes, I move. Get body cross. Get body cross.
Nice right hand from Khabib. Another one.
And once again, it seems as though Shalarus not really putting any combinations together, just looking for that one big right hand to try to turn Nurmagomedov's lights out.
He's trying to counter Shalarus, and there he is going for a crazy techniques. He mixes in some unorthodox moves with his crisp striking, and I'm sure that's confusing Shalarus a little bit. The way he leaps in with those uppercuts and hooks, John, very, very impressive.
Yeah, that uppercut certainly found its home there.
And look for a single leg to get on top of his opponent, Nurmagomedov, and this is a big round for Shalarus. He's gonna have to do something big here.
Shalarus has dealt with injuries over the last calendar year, staring at a 10-month layoff here tonight, and at least the first 2 rounds are an indication that perhaps there is a little bit of rust as he gets back to the big show. Once again, though, going for that big right hand.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of that is due to his opponent, who's countering very well. Very impressive for his first fight in the octagon, first fight in the cage. Are you kidding me? Moving very, very well, very technical, countering. Looks like a veteran out there.
Really does. Shalarus pursuing that single leg, Nurmagomedov having none of it.
I tell you what, when you get a high-level wrestler like Shalarus, and we've seen it from him in the past, when he gets your leg, you're on your butt. I mean, this guy finishes takedowns, and not able to do that against Nurmagomedov. Unbelievable. I'm very, very impressed with this kid.
You saw the sprawl from Shalarus, but he ate another left hand, now working on a guillotine.
And look at that single leg takedown from Nurmagomedov. I don't think Shalarus is going to be able to finish this guillotine. Doesn't quite have his legs in the proper positioning, and you can see him slipping out. Probably going to bail on it. Nurmagomedov countering to the proper side, going to the far side of that headlock, and he's out.
Big hammer fist there from the top position for Nurmagomedov, and Belarus's face starting to show some wear and tear at this point.
Got to be impressed with the conditioning of these guys. I mean, Nurmagomedov just has not stopped throwing punches inside mount, now in the mount, and this could be bad news for Belarus. And Nurmagomedov trying to get that rear naked choke. He's kind of in an awkward position, but looks like he's finishing it. That's it.
So the UFC and US debut for Khabib Nurmagomedov goes according to plan. Welcome to America. Beautiful performance, guys.
What a debut for Nurmagomedov against a true veteran in Belarus. He out-wrestled him, he outstruck him, and he finished in the third round with a great rear naked choke. Here he is pressuring him with his ground and pound. Kind of jumps over the guard of Belarus. Right in the mount position, Belarus tried to turn his back, but that only opened up a rear naked choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov. And here he is with the positioning, and it's game over.
And Belarus, not an easy guy to finish, submitted here tonight for the first time in his mixed martial arts career. So high praise came in for Nurmagomedov, and he certainly lives up to the hype as he improves to 17-0. You better learn how to pronounce that name. Khabib Nurmagomedov not going anywhere. The official decision is yours next as UFC prelims.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mario Yamasaki's called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 8 seconds of the third round. Declaring the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov!
So welcome to the United States, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Congratulations on getting your first win here in the UFC.
Добро пожаловать в США, Хабиб Нурмагомедов. Поздравляем тебя с этой яркой победой.
Спасибо всем, особенно теннисе. Мне очень понравилось здесь. 3 дня здесь было, еще хочется 3 года побыть. Всем спасибо.
I want to thank everybody here, all the fans. I want to thank UFC. It's very professional. I love it here.
All right, well, very fluid performance here in your UFC debut. Let's take a look at the replay as you move from the mount into the finishing choke.
Как ты закончил этот бой? Расскажи нам немножко об этом бое.
Этот бой, честно сказать, я чуть осторожничал. Но все шло, мы по плану работали. И в конце, как мы работали дома в Дагестане, как мы работали здесь в Файерфилде, в Нью-Джерси, с моей командой K-Dojo. Все по плану прошло.
I was a bit cautious. I had a strategy. I was working on it. I devised it with my father back in Russia, as well as my coach here, Murat Kashtov. And with the help of my team, K-Dojo, we've been able to get it done, guys.
Any nerves whatsoever as you took to the octagon here tonight?
Ты нервничал перед тем, как зайти в этот октагон сегодня?
Да, было чуть-чуть, я волновался. Но я надеялся только на Всевышнего. Ведь победа может быть только от Всевышнего. Альхамдулилля, все получилось.
I definitely had the butterflies today. However, with the help of God, I was able to get it done. Thank you so much.
Well, your performance certainly didn't show it. Ladies and gentlemen, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Congratulations.
What a debut from Khabib Nurmagomedov.